Now we're going to do our last few examples of conversions using the factor label method. And this last set of measurements that we're going to convert are rates. Rates, remember, are ratios. So as a result, you usually have two measurements that are divided. So you'll have a unit of measurement on the top and a unit of measurement on the bottom. One or both may need to be converted. So let's look at this one here we have as an example. We have a speed of 60 miles per hour, and we're asked to convert that into kilometers per hour. So the first recommendation I would make is that you actually write your rate as a top and a bottom. So 60 miles per hour. And if you want to do that, that just means I go 60 miles in 1 hour, or it takes me 1 hour to go 60 miles. All right. I would then go and I would look and say, I have to go to kilometers per hour, because this is going to tell you whether or not you have to convert the top, the bottom, or both. So let's look at this. Miles, I'm expecting to go to kilometers, and hours, well, in my new unit of measurement, the time is still an hour. So I don't have to convert that. So if I look at it, the only thing I actually have to do is convert the top part. So that helps me know what I need to convert. All right, so let's go. We would look at what we know for our conversion factors. So I know I want to get rid of miles. I want to get to kilometers. And if you remember, 1 mile is 1.609 kilometers. Okay. So I'm going to make sure my miles cancel out on the top and the bottom. When I look, the only unit I'm left with on the top is kilometers, which is what I expect. And my hours still here on the bottom. They haven't changed. So now all I have to do once again is my math. 60 times 1.609 divided by 1 times 1 gives me 96.5. So that is equal to 96.5 kilometers per hour. Okay, let's look at one where we have to convert the top and the bottom. So here we're going to convert that same speed of 60 miles per hour, but instead of converting it to kilometers per hour, we're going to convert it to meters per second. All right, so once again, start out with our given. It helps to write that 1 hour. And again, come over here in meters and seconds. So you know that miles has to go to meters, and you know that hours has to go to seconds. All right, so I'm going to start with the top first, and I'm going to convert my distance, and then I'm going to do my bottom part and convert my time. All right, and remember, the nice thing about the factor label method is we can do this all in a series of steps in our ladder to get to where we have to be. All right, so I'm going to erase this for now. All right, let's convert our miles to meters in a similar way that we did before. We don't know a conversion factor directly between miles and meters, so I'm going to do just like I did before. I'm going to do miles, kilometers. All right, 1 mile is 1.609 kilometers. All right. If I canceled it out now, I would have kilometers per hour like before, and I want meters. So that means I have to get rid of those kilometers and convert them into meters. So 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. Kilometers cancel out, and I have my meters up on top now, which is what I need for my unit of distance conversion, so I'm all done. So now I have to start going and doing the time. Now here's the thing that's a little different about what we've done before. We have to look at where the actual unit is that we want to cancel, where it is. It's in the bottom of the ratio. So in this case, we have to put what we want to cancel on the top of this guy because we want them to cancel. And I know hours to maybe minutes, right? 1 hour is 60 minutes. That gets rid of my hours, and now I would have meters per minute, which is still not what I want. So I'm going to get rid of the minutes, and I'm going to take that to seconds. Right, now if I look and I go all the way across the top with my units and check it out, I have meters as the only unit left on top. And if I go all the way on the bottom, I have seconds, which is my only unit left on the bottom. So that means once I do my math, I know my answer is going to be in the units of meters per second. And now that's all I have to do is the math. So 60 times 1.609 times 1,000 times 1 times 1 all over 1 times 1 times 1 times 60 times 60. Don't forget those numbers that are down there. You have to make sure that you remember them. Just don't multiply everything across the top. Multiply the stuff across the bottom too. Once I do that, that turns out to be 26.8 meters per second. Right? Just make sure that when you're doing this, you really check. We've been so used to having all our units up top so that the units we want to cancel in our ratio for our conversion factor are down the bottom. This is opposite. We now have, when we have that bottom of that ratio, we need to make sure that that conversion factor that we start to use to get rid of the measurement that we want to get rid of is actually in the top. Again, hope that helps.